Hey everyone, my name is Lemon Low and I'm a bishop with Tradera. I just want to talk to you today about why Tradera. Well, why Tradera is that you now have an opportunity to learn a fresh, brand new skill. This is a skill that enables you to learn how to trade in the foreign market or the foreign exchange market. Many of us are already aware of what this includes. It's pretty much the exchanging of currencies in a particular country. So for example, if I'm here in Jamaica looking to travel to the United States, I would have to change my Jamaican dollars to US dollars. Now, I've heard of many stories of persons dabbling into foreign exchange or forex market and losing. However, for the first time now, you're able to be educated, yes, because knowledge is powerful. As a result, I have decided to mentor, encourage, and enlighten persons about how they can learn foreign exchange. Now, it's important to appreciate that this will not happen overnight. It is a process. So what I've created is a webinar, a daily webinar that talks about what is Forex, why persons are running to Forex, and how it is that you are able to profit even if a market is doing well or a market is not. So what it simply means is that you and I are able to make profits whether our market is doing good or bad. And that is powerful, especially because of what's happening with the pandemic today. So if you are interested in learning more about Forex and how you can actually leave a legacy for your children's children, well, my number is 876-778-2216. Again, my name is Lemon Low and the number is 876-778-2216. You can WhatsApp me or DM me. Looking forward to educating you. Thank you and have a good rest of the day.
Yes, good night, my Facebook family and friends. Welcome to another episode of My Perspective. Let me first apologize for last week. Last week event I had no light. My power was out. Yeah, my internet was out and down for a couple of days last week to the power outage. So last week I didn't have a show to play a rebroadcast. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the rebroadcast last week. But this week, I'm going to, let me first say, happy belated independence. Jamaica reached 60 years. Jubilee celebration, they call it. Not many countries has that freedom. Not many countries have a democratic process. A lot of people, enough people don't have that level of, well, I would say economic development for themselves, but able to fend and feed their family. Some countries are still in the dark ages. And, Jamaica is still a work in progress. I watched the Grand Gala. It was wonderful, wonderful right through. I watched it online. The Saturday night event was beautiful. There was a Mobile event. I saw some Island Mobile. I saw in St. Elizabeth. There are some events, and the street dances were all over the place. But give thanks, Jamaica reached 60. But tonight I'm going to bring another. I'm going to have some special guests tonight again, and this time games and the U20 championship. Last time I had these gentlemen on my show, it was a wonderful show. The reviews, the views, it kept on going. Even when I did a rebroadcast, people came back and watched it. We had a lot of people who came on and make some good comments and all that. And I hope tonight, they just concluded Commonwealth Games and Games Plus along with the U20 Championship. Jamaica, I'm proud. See, my mama Jamaica call me. Fix my thing. Yeah, Jamaica. They did us proud again, and we got to talk about the performance and talk about the future because we can't just ignore these performances and don't talk about what's going to happen down the road. and we got to able to discuss. So tonight, my special guest will come back again. Um, I'm going to have Mr. Trevor T.C. Campbell back, you know, and also I'm supposed to have Mr. Michael Carr back tonight again to just give their reviews. And my special guest is one of Jamaica coaches who was a part of the entourage that went to. I think I'll get the clarify if it U20 or come on, I'm going to get that clarity. But I'm going to add, I'm just going to go straight in the program. I'm going to add Mr. Trevor T.C. Campbell to my feed tonight. Good
Thank
night,
you very
sir,
much.
Mr.
Good
Campbell.
night. Pleasure to be with you.
Oh my, a pleasure to be with you again, sir. you know, well, hey, until that cricket behind it will stop me open eyes,
Why, I've been having to put up with them for some 20 years.
20 years. Oh my word, my word. And sir, how are you keeping? How is the family? How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good. And thanks for asking. The family is also very good.
Yes. And I'm happy that I could have you back with me tonight. I'm waiting for Mr. Carr, I'm going to go through a brief history of Mr. Michael McIntosh. And this man is another legend like yourself. You guys in track and field so much, and the Commonwealth game just concluded and all that. So I had to touch on it. And U20 champions, you had to call the guys back. I hope you don't mind. I call you back, sir.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like your shirt, That shirt look bashy, Yes, sir. Well, let me see if I can get Mr. Michael McIntosh in. I'm going to go do a brief history.
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast. We'll call you
You
back.
know, I'm going to just do a quick brief of Mr. Michael McIntosh right now. Mr. Michael McIntosh, born in the district of Jericho in Hanover, a graduate of G.C. Foster College, Rossi's High School, and the National College on Educational Leadership. Certified level 5 world athletic coach and a teacher for over 25 years. Wow. This man, boys, man, are well educated and a Russist or Russian. He's presently the vice principal of Green Island High School in Hanover. Wow. I wonder where so much cap. An external assessor for the CSEC, physical education, and a moderator for Cape Physical Education. Wow. A lay pastor at the Lucy United Church. Yeah, man of God, boy. Married to First Lady Hillary, yes, and has 2 adult sons. Nice, man, family man. He's a passionate man who loves to see growth and development in young people. He's driven by this saying, action without passion is mere motion. That quote, I got to repeat it one more time. He's driven by this saying, action without passion is mere motion. Wow, I want him to give him some deep thoughts on that some more. So then further ado, let me bring in Mr. Michael McIntosh. Good night, sir. How are you, Mr. McIntosh?
I am good, sir. Partner, how are you doing?
I am good enough.
It's
Welcome.
great. It's great to be in the same space with the legendary T.C. Campbell.
Yes,
Mark,
man.
get out of here with that, Mark.
Gentlemen, Mr. McIntosh, before
Yes,
I have my traditions, and this is my tradition. First thing, how is the family? How is the first lady and how are the sons?
we are all good. We are all good.
Right. And how are you keeping, sir?
I am keeping very well, and the mere fact that I am working with the young people and seeing their progress just give me hope for the future, and that's what I'm here for.
Hope. I like the word hope. What's your quote? can you explain it for a little bit? Action without passion is mere motion. What do you mean by that? Give a little deep
It,
thoughts.
what it is saying is that if you're doing anything, whatever
Mhm.
you're doing in life, don't just do it because you are paid or not paid for it, but you must have the passion. Because of the passion, you will not bring the real energy, you will not bring the real output. And when somebody see you doing the work, they'll understand that you're doing it for not just for the mere dollars, because I coach because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It is part of my DNA.
Right.
And I coach because I believe that I wasn't given an opportunity as an athlete to be the best I can possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
So that passion that I now have, it allowed me to vicariously
Right.
live my life through the accomplishment of those who I'm given a chance
Right.
to help.
To help.
So
And,
that's what it's all about.
and you have been in business for over 23 years. So tell me, how you really find time? You are a principal, you are, what is again, you're an assessor, and you're a coach. How do you find that? And you're a pastor.
Well, it comes from the passion for doing all of that.
Wow.
The grace of God will allow you to do
Mhm.
the things. And the Bible said that if you're grateful for little things, He will give
Yes,
you big
sir.
things. And I was always grateful for an opportunity. And this opportunity lent itself to this man on this platform here. My first national trip, he was my manager
Yes,
to
sir.
France. And he had taught me some nuggets that I still
Nuggets.
hold on to today.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's passionate. I seen him at track meet, and when he's at track meet, you can see the fire in him for performance, for the athletes to do their best. And I think I would have taken some of that just by being around him on that trip to Lille, France, where he was my manager.
Trevor TC, Mr. Trevor TC Camp,
You
accolades
see,
all around for you, sir.
Mark is my good friend, man. Mark is more than my brother. And it was a pleasure traveling with Mark. And we always talk to each other. As a matter of fact, he calls me more often, I have to confess, than I call him. Right? But it's
Somebody
all
calling
good.
someone and checking in, most importantly.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Good. But gentlemen, I know I call you guys, I'm from McIntosh. You are the coach for, you are part of the management for the U20 or the Commonwealth, our board.
U20.
All right. Well, we're going to get to that. But we want to talk about the Commonwealth game, which just concluded, the performance of the athletes, and then we move into the U20. Because, to be honest, I'm going to look at bias. The U20 performance was so exceptional, I want to really discuss it and the future for it. And you as a coach, Mr. McIntosh, and Mr. Trevor, who's an administrator, was involved in sports for many years, and yourself, I needed, Mr. TC mentioned some important things. But you as a pro who is intricate involved in the whole management and structure of the team might have some other perspective or insight of how we can move the youth to another level. But first thing, Trevor, where Mr. Carr? Am I hiding from us tonight?
I don't understand because I spoke to him a little earlier, just before I came on.
Listen, when him come. I know if I can come and feel vigorous self for it, so I'll have him save it.
You're probably sweating right now.
But gentlemen, let's talk about the Commonwealth Games. And just give me an overview of the performances and how we think we perform. Croatia have won the 10, but let me talk about performances first. I want one person want to talk about Elaine. Anyone want to go first? Performance by Elaine.
Big step up. Big step for Elaine. She wasn't a holder of a Commonwealth Games title.
Mm-hmm.
And she came and not only took one title,
right,
both sprint titles. So right now she has titles across the board. I think even a Pan American Games title. So
Yes,
she
200.
So she has had them now across the board, establishing herself as one of the greats.
Mm-hmm.
she won't be able to get to the grade for a little while yet, because there's a little lady that
Yeah,
is
pocket rocket, Miss
that is
Shelley and Fraser.
occupying that spot right now. But
Yes, yes.
Elaine, in her own right, is a
Mhm.
very, very, very outstanding ambassador for us.
Mr. McIntosh, your
Yeah.
thoughts on Alien performance?
Fantastic. I believe that she would have redeemed herself or redeem some of her fans
Mm-hmm.
who thought that she was on the down, but she went to the Commonwealth Games um overshadow of her fitness and where she's at,
Right.
and to came out beating all those who turn up at the line at the Commonwealth Games, and as TC rightly said, 2 gold medals, and then to took that baton in sixth position and to run Jamaica into a bronze medal. It speaks to her grit and her tenacity and her willingness to perform for Jamaica when most of the other athletes
Right.
abandoned the Commonwealth Games. She went there and she saw and she conquered.
But you mentioned something about the abandon of that athlete who didn't win. Is those abandonment strategically, you think, Mr. Trevor and Mr. McIntosh, that these I didn't go to the Commonwealth Games deliberately because they might say they want to do their circuit coming up? I don't feel that they have had enough of the international scene and just want to take a break from it and allow other persons to participate. What are your
Well,
thoughts, gentlemen?
well, let me give my perspective on it. When these athletes would have submit their entries for
Mhm.
national trials,
Mhm.
they would have indicated as to where they would be available for, whether
Okay.
it is Eugene, the Commonwealth Games, or wherever it is.
Right.
And I would assume that when the names were announced, the selector would have gone based on the events that these athletes would have made available for.
Right.
So I don't know if after after the World Champs in Eugene, persons engaged in other what should I say obligations,
Right.
that they decide that they're not going to go to the Commonwealth Games again,
Right.
because we saw that persons were pulling out a week before, a couple of days before the actual game started.
Wow. Wow. What's
You
your
know,
take? What's your take, Mr. Trevor? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are somewhat similar to Mac's thoughts. We have to remember that these athletes are only being paid when they compete, and there are events that they don't get paid for, like the Commonwealth Games. So,
Mhm.
if, for example, you have a contract that requires you to make a certain amount of appearances,
Mhm.
and you abandon that and
Mhm.
go to the games, for example, you could be putting your contract in jeopardy.
Jeopardy. Right. Right.
So there is a lot behind this. It's great that she was able
Mhm.
to make that games, and I'm sure that others probably would have wanted to, but because of the contractual situation that they find themselves in and the financial situation that they're in, they will probably up to go to not to go to the Commonwealth Games, but to go back to the circuit.
But
So you have to, there's a little give and take that you have to understand there.
but you mentioned something about the Commonwealth because I'm maybe still now. You said that at the Commonwealth they don't receive no prize money like the World
no,
Championship. They just run
no,
the medal. That's what you're saying.
just
Correctly.
gold medals. What the Commonwealth Games will do for you at the end of it is to give you a more bargaining chip. You have a title,
Correct.
but at the World Champs where you receive $70,000 for a gold medal.
Right.
At the Commonwealth Games is just the gold medal and the title. But what you can do after the games is use that as a bargaining chip
Correct.
for future contracts or to enter Diamond League or other events.
So it's
But
basically.
there's no money initially at the game.
Mm. So yeah, it's just a bragging rights and can use as a bargaining chip to help you negotiate contracts for your diamond leagues and all that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's adding to your CV.
TV.
TV.
So
Okay.
you have added a title. You are now the Commonwealth Games champion. That allows you to bargain when it's time to get a lane in an event, or it allows you to get that lane, not just to bargain, but put you in that lane. So it's a title, just like the Pan Am Games. There's no money, but there's a title, and it's worth something down the road, not in your pocket immediately, but it has some value down the road.
Wow.
And if I may add to so
yes, man.
TC, just to support what you were saying, just like to become a national champion, you have some of these contracts that would outline to you, if you become a national champion, you get $5. If you become Commonwealth champion, you get $10. If you become world champion, you get $20. So all of these titles will give you added bonuses from your contract.
Oh. So it's in a sense a win-win then for them if they win this title, because down the road the benefits will arrive through bonuses, to negotiation of contracts and all that. That's what you're saying, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. To be honest, I am not too fan of it, because guess what? This person put in the time and effort. Although you get a gold medal, fine, but I think there should be some level of monetization or some form of giving back in terms of a gift or something. That's all I'm saying. But hey, that's my word. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I think about it. And any event, whether it's international, should have some amount of benefit apart from the contracts and then the bonus down the road. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, because to be honest, I had this discussion with someone and they said that Elaine should have shut down our season because of her injuries. And I said, with my ignorance, said that maybe she's going to gain something. But no, you guys have highlighted that the only thing she did get is a benefit in terms of bragging rights and a medal and helps with their contract down the road. And that's fair.
But partner.
Yes, sir.
Remember too, Elaine just signed with a new sport brand.
Right.
With Puma. So we don't know what the contract in detail speaks to.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that TC said it earlier on that she now has won 200 meter Pan Am, now 200 Commonwealth. She is the double Olympic champion. So the only 200 meter title she has won yet is the world champs.
Right.
And she still has age on her side. So next year in Hungary, we might be talking a different story at this time next year. So
right.
And that will be after she have made some money that she probably would not have made if she didn't have this title.
Yes.
Right.
And I think she needed this sort of a body of work. She needed this to sort of build her confidence going forward, because she would have got a lot of flack from the fact what happened in Eugene.
Right.
And she needed this sort of thing to say, instead of saying double Olympic champion, we'll have to add the Commonwealth
double champion.
When you call her name in any sport arena, you have to mention these titles to it going forward. So it's a win-win for her, and I'm happy that she went.
Yes, and you know what, I admire her as an athlete. She has a mental toughness. Whatever injury she went through, world champion was a bad batch in her career. But I know that she rebounded, and she did rebound in Commonwealth, and then she will continue to work on her everything. I know next year she'll be, as I said, we'll be talking a different story next year. And that's a fact. But gentlemen, other performances that highlighted, that brought to your attention, which was good on your part, which was perfect, I should say, on your part in terms of success. Other events, like, tell me, discuss through. I see where the triple jump lady, she did her job. What's her name, Mr. Trevor?
Ricketts.
Yes.
What about the 13-0 by Broadbell in the sprint hurdle?
Yes, sir.
To me, that was a fantastic run. And he came back out a couple of days later to beat the world champs. to show that his win at the Commonwealth Games was no
fluke.
You know, so we had and you realize now that the Commonwealth Games is his first title. He has never won anything before now. And if we take a look back at Asafa Powell, that's the only 100-meter title Asafa Powell has. Commonwealth when he won in Australia,
right,
a couple of years ago. You know, but Asafa has gone so many sub 10 seconds. But when it comes to title, we can call him Commonwealth champion.
Right. So go ahead, Mr.
And I guess it's the same thing for Lady Ricketts.
Yeah.
You know, she's been having to fall into second place behind Rojas so many times. I know she's gotten a relief.
Yes. and do you guys believe that when these athletes don't get this relief, it can spur them to greater heights? Do you believe that?
Well, it helps with the confidence, that's for sure. Because now she knows that I can be a winner too. I'm not just domesticated to work on a second spot. I can now win. So it gives her some win under her sails, gives her some confidence, and it was a good performance. Outside of all of that, it was a great performance. If you remember how the event took shape.
Yes.
No, she went out there and she just had this one massive big jump in the beginning, and she could, for all intents and purposes, sit back and watch everybody compete, but she didn't. She kept on jumping. But it is that kind of relief that I was talking about. It's a release. She don't have this big person that she has to worry about anymore in Rojas, and she could have gone out there and competed freely, and that she did, and had a good distance. 1494.
Yeah, I think that was number. A little bit more than that. I think. Yeah. Right.
And and TC and Sean, it also speak to her performances over the year. She went to the World and she finished second,
right,
to Rojas. So that means she is second in the world and would have been on top of the Commonwealth Games. She went to the games
second in the world and best in the Commonwealth.
And proved that she's second in the world, best in the Commonwealth in terms of position. She went to the Commonwealth Games and proved that I came second in the world, so therefore I will rule this. This is my stage. This is where I'm going to perform.
Right.
And she did that with aplomb. So therefore, it speaks to her level of competitiveness and readiness.
And so we can look for great. I think maybe next year she'll get over that. Maybe next year she can be a winner at the World Championship and Olympics, based on what you guys are saying. Because if it gives her that confidence now, and she has taken that step at being a champion, a Commonwealth champion, that maybe next year that confidence will carry to different heights. That's what you guys are saying, right?
Yeah. She's very consistent. And with Hungary in 2023, Paris 24, Tokyo 25, and in the Commonwealth Games in 26. That's 4 years back to back. That these athletes who they would have taste success and want more. So you have 4 years. There's no dull year. You have world champs next year, Olympics, then world champs, and then Commonwealth. So it's enough food on the table for you to go and partake of.
Nice. So what other performance come to light, gentlemen, that you are really impressed with in the Commonwealth Games?
You know,
4 hurdles for women.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
4 hurdles for women.
Yes.
Genevieve Russell.
Right.
I think she also had a very rough world champs. She went in as a national champion, did not even make the final at the Eugene Games.
Right.
And to come back to the Commonwealth Games and end up and defend her title and defend it very, very stoutly. So to me, that speaks to the character and the grit of the woman in Genevieve Russell. One disappointment I had, though, I was hoping to have 1, 2, 3. In the 4 hurdles for women, I was hoping that
too greedy.
we, you
Hey,
know,
sometimes-
we had it in the 400 meter at the last Commonwealth Games.
right.
You know, so I was hoping, and based on how what's her name went out, the fourth place finisher, I was
Mhm.
hoping to be able to hold on
Right.
for a third place, but she got run past by the South African,
Right.
who
right.
is a former world
Yeah,
junior
World
champion.
champion, yes.
So that's some pedigree right there.
A lot of pedigree, so we understand that. But you know, it's one thing with all Jamaican athletes. They love to rebound, and when they're disappointed in certain events, they come back and show them. Especially women, the women have something about them. Anything
But,
else?
but Sean, before you go, Sean, I also want to mention the 4x4 men.
Yes, I was about to talk about that, but go ahead. You beat me to it. Go ahead.
No, well, you introduce it then.
Come on. I give you all the respect, Mr. Trevor. Come on, man.
Elder State.
Yes,
State.
man. Yeah, man.
Well,
Come on, man. That one. Let's go.
well, I thought they did a fantastic job.
Mhm.
Considering we had one person in the final and didn't really have anybody else running well,
Right.
and to put a quartet together and come out and run like they did, I
Right.
think that was a tremendous performance on their part.
Yes, sir. Does McIntosh, you want to add anything to that?
No. I would allow the elder states to just you know have like in cricket, you have the person who take the first ball, Michael Holding. That was a Michael Holding
Right.
moment. So I would leave it at that.
Right. What? The women's 100 meter. I mean the 110 that I'm talking about. Broadbell. What's that her name?
Not
Men.
his name.
Bell.
Men.
Broadbell.
Yes. I believe he performed incredibly well in that race.
Very well.
Absolutely.
13-0.
Absolutely.
13-0 is no time to really scoff at. And the mere fact that he said after the World Championship that he made some errors because running between the hurdle, he didn't have any rhythm. He said it in a post-race interview.
But stick a pin, Mark. But stick a pin. And
Yes.
with all of that, the hurling was clean.
Yes, very clean.
Hurdling
Very,
was
very
clean. So if he's making mistakes and still hurdling clean, that gives you an indication of where he could go.
Yeah. And after that win at the Commonwealth Games, about 3 or 4 days later, he came back and beat the world champion. Holloway. So he's at a space now where he's performing, and I like his confidence. When he touch the track, you see a sense of seriousness, on his face, and I just love that about him, and the mere fact that he wants to perform, and it goes back to my thing. Action without passion is mere motion.
Yes,
It's
sir.
more talk.
Hey.
No, but on a serious basis,
Yeah.
the fact that he is willing to listen to a competitor, a teammate, and to draw from his experience, that tells you where his head is at. That you have to be in a good space to actually listen to your competitor, even though you're in the same team. But you have to be in a good space to take information from him and put it into your world and make it work.
And and I agree 100%. But it's good when an athlete can listen and take from competitor and put it in his world and improve. And I think he's going to go do better next year. He's going to do much faster. And can you mention one thing that his organ is very clean?
I believe it's just the injuries that he suffered, I think, last season that has really set him back. I know he's getting that rhythm back. He's getting that confidence back. He's a big hurdle. Last year, if I remember, well, he was rated 4th in the world.
Remember one time he was world leader for a few hours.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was
what we see now is a hurdler who has gained that experience and confidence and is now displaying his talent.
So the future is bright for them. The future is bright for him now.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
TC and Sean, if I may say,
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
believe in another year or two,
Mm-hmm.
we will have a sprint hurdle final for men where outside the top three will run some ridiculous time and cannot make the Olympics or the World Champion side.
What?
Based on the talent we currently have. And TC can help me call the names. You have Renan Levy who suffer
Yeah.
who is injured now.
Mm-hmm.
Um the Olympic champion,
Mm-hmm.
Rod Bell. You have Omar McLeod.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have
We almost forget him.
Yeah.
must forget
I
you
was
have
about to ask him about what was about to ask
and
about him
you
too. What
and you
about McLeod?
also have the former world champion and silver medal coming through. And plus we have at the World Under 20, we had a finalist who was the third place finisher. The other two persons got injured and he just slipped in at the last minute and he made the final. So you can imagine the sprint hurdles is now becoming the flat 100 in Jamaica landscape, which augurs well to show that we are fast over the flat and now our athletes are now taking it to
Mm-hmm.
sprinting hurdle.
And I just want to, and I agree 100% with you with that. But I just want to touch on one more person and then wrap up on the Commonwealth because guess what, gentlemen, time runs so fast. We're having fun. But Mr. Hyde, Jamil, 400-meter hurdler. What is his story? He did well, but I was expecting more from once he was assigned a because he running the World Championship. And you got a silver medal here in the 400 meter. Tell me, what do you guys think of his progress? Can he improve more?
Yes. But I think he might have made some errors the last couple of years, trying to figure out where he wants to be in terms of his coach, in terms of his training. And I think he probably at this point now is getting over all of that. And his focus is better.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a good focus if you're going to run those hurdles. So I think his focus is better now. I think his situation in terms of his coaching is a little improved. And the sky's the limit because this guy has a talent. He defended his junior championship, won it, and then came back the following year and defended it. So he has credentials.
Your thought, Mr. McIntosh?
Yeah, listen, TC outlined it perfectly. This Giles Hyde is a youth Olympic champion, world youth champion, and world junior champion. So his CV speaks for himself, and I'm pretty sure that when he looks back at all the person who he'd have conquered doing those ranks and see them doing well, I'm sure he is intrinsically motivated to get it right. And he now find himself in a place where he's now comfortable to put in the work because he ran his personal best this year and he's on the way up. So I am very patient with him. He's one of my favorite athletes, and I just expect great things from him in Hungary, then in Paris, then in Tokyo, and then we can see what happens after that.
So yeah, you basically what you guys are saying is that Jamil Hyde has to get this focus, continue work on his training, and just keep performing at a consistent level whenever he's running. Because Michael, I agree with you. He's one of my favorite athletes from when he became a junior. He was one of my favorite athletes, and I was looking for him to keep pushing himself. Not even that, his family is a sports family. His family is a sports family in general. From his father, go right to all the brothers and siblings, whatever. They are sports family orientated. And now you explain to me that, and Mr. Charles said that his training was, and his coaching situation was not settled. And that's a part of an athlete with forte. because psychologically the performance will drop if certain part of his life is not sorted out, and that's what's basically what you guys are saying. It's reflected. It has been reflected in the past, and now he's sorted out to move forward. And I really wish him all the best because it's a good youth. He's a very good youth. And as you said, Michael, I need to see him rise now. You know, as I say, sometimes it's not his time, but time is a master, and I really hope he steps up. And that's my take on that. But gentlemen, from 1 to 10, you know, we asked how you think the team performance was at the Commonwealth. Mr. Michael, what do you give? 10 is the highest, sir. What do you give them?
8 for me.
8 for you. Why you say 8, sir?
We would have just looked at individual events. Shanika Ricketts, broad belt performances, Ilian double, Ilian relay leg, the men quartet. There were spots of brilliance by the Jamaican, and therefore for me, I would give them an 8.
Fair enough. Mr. Trevor, let's hear your thoughts, sir.
Can't quarrel with that grading. I think that's spot on. I can't remember during the games if there were any real disappointments. Somebody who underperformed or something like that. So that being said, I think 8 probably is a fair, more than fair rating. Maybe 8.5, but 8 is more than fair.
And I will endorse what you guys say. I give them 8 to, because basically if more for athletes, I just say contractors, if more athletes had went, then the performance would have been more medals and more performance would have been there.
But Sean, I look at it a different way, Sean. I see it as an opportunity for other athletes to showcase their work, and that they did.
But TC, we spoke of the others, and we forget to mention Lamar Distin.
Oh man!
On the high jump.
Oh my! Oh my!
Yes,
on the high jump, right?
Yes, sir.
We would have looked at and that was a performance.
Absolutely.
That was outstanding for us. Remember,
game-changing performance that could spur a lot of action.
Exactly. So therefore, if you look at it, and as TC said, 8 is very fair. And when you mark some student script and you want to go back and check if you missed something to add a 0.5, you can add a 0.5 to the.
And what about this? And the shot put woman, Miss Thomas Dodd.
Right.
She got a silver medal too.
Exactly. So if we look at it, 8 and 8.5 is in the ballpark where we can grade them, and to me that is good.
I agree 100%, because as Mr. TC said, he gave other people other opportunities, and there were surprises. Thomas Dodd was there. You talk about Sharika Ricketts, the woman high jumper, Miss Destin. These persons went there and performed. So yes, let us put at 8.5 for sure, because they went and they did their job, and they were adding something separate. I was talking about the Sunshine Girls. I'm sorry, they're not the Changa people, they're athletes, and they did well. They went to the final. They danced their way to the final, and it's unfortunate they didn't dance winning, but they brought us home again, silver medal. So the Commonwealth Games had its best. And 8.5 to me is a very fair job. Will we agree on that, gentlemen? Anything you want to say?
We agree, and there's one other thing I want to say. I want to point out Nigeria's work at the Commonwealth Games. Nigeria won 96 medals, right? And they overtook South Africa, who was the leading African nation in the past. So out of the 12, is it 12? 12 African nations, Nigeria came out on top, displacing South Africa. And if you take a closer look at what Nigeria is doing, because they are doing good and improving in many areas.
So you are saying that Nigeria will be a force to be
reckoned with. Team to watch.
Your words, Mr. Michael.
No, Case, he's correct, because we saw them at the U20. and they have some real good prospect, and we have to ensure that we move 2 or 3 notches up. So because they are really coming on, because they have some real fine female
Across the board.
sprinters across the board, jumpers, hurdlers, throwers.
So
So
you
it's a good observation from our elder statesman.
listen, that says that we saw some credible performance at the World Championship from some Nigerian athletes.
Absolutely.
Remember, a Nigerian now holds the world record for the 100-meter women hurdle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she has thrown everybody into disarray
And-
because they don't understand how
And
she
guess
has
what
done that.
happened? Guess what happened? The combination is real because coached by a Jamaican,
Yeah.
Lassina Golden Clark, who is
Yeah.
who is a Commonwealth champion, the only title she
Commonwealth
has.
gold medalist, yeah.
Commonwealth gold medalist over the sprint hurdle. So if you look at it, the whole mix and match as it relates to athletics and performances, it comes right back.
Mhm. Do you think let's throw something out there? Do you think that Jamaica 6th Jubilee celebration may have some effects, give them extra motivation to perform where they're performing at these Commonwealth Games, or is just at least generally looking to improve themselves? Do you think that have any effect on it and at least performance?
I think the Jamaica 60 had its place, but what I do know about the athletes when they go to that starting line or enter championship for Jamaica,
Right.
they always put their best foot forward. Whether it's a year of jubilee or a year of celebration, and the added spice is that most of these championship comes right around our independence or
Right.
emancipation. So our athletes are acutely aware of what the nation, because
Right.
it brings it euphoria,
Right.
to them, a sense that I'm giving you this gift, more to celebrate for and to, and therefore it will add to it, but generally our athletes are motivated to perform.
Sean, we don't like losing.
Yes, sir.
You understand that? We don't like,
Expectations, yes, sir.
just we don't like losing. And whenever we go on the track, we are not going there to run second. Even if you have time that is 10 times faster than my time. The fact that I'm representing Jamaica gives me this extra boost.
And we are well known.
And that is, that is well known. There is no doubt about it.
And gentlemen, and you and Mr. Michael talk about or at least when they go to the starting line, they represent and do their best. And I'm going to talk about something down the road. I'm just going to I want to try and remember what I want to say, but we must commend our athletes. They are the real ambassadors for Jamaica. We said last time we had this discussion about Trevor. But Michael, these athletes make us proud. These athletes sing Jamaica name around the world. These athletes make sure the little tiny island with 3 million is represented and stands out. Do you have anything to add to that, Michael or Mr. Trevor?
All I would say
Oh, yeah.
to it, Sean, if you said it, but I want you to follow me in this. 2011, I used to listen to our anthem play from I was in primary, high school, and college. But it means so much to me now from 2011 when I could stand in the national stadium with other nations and hear that anthem play. Last weekend in Cali, Colombia, when it played 6 times, that other persons learn our anthem.
Right.
If it's even a line they would start to sing Jamaica land we love, because they would have learned it, because the athletes would have ensured that the anthem means something. And as you said, rightly said, they are our true ambassadors. And we must give them credit. We must support them in whatever shape or form we can.
Mr. Campbell.
Everything said. I
Wow.
don't need to add another word to it because it's obvious. For the 2 weeks, for example, at the World Championships, the amount of times that Jamaica was referred to, no tourist campaign could bring Jamaica that result.
No
None.
tourist campaign.
No, none. Just think about it. For 2 weeks, every day, Jamaica is being spoken about across the world. Jamaica is being seen across the world. People are checking to see what is it about this Jamaica across the world. No tourist campaign can bring that. One other thing, I know this from just observation. If the first team that leaves Jamaica, first track team that leaves Jamaica does well, every team after that is going to do even better. Because those teammates are going to say, the World Championship team match it up, watch what we are going to do. Under 20 team match it up, what we are
What we
going to
going
do.
to do?
Commonwealth Games team match it up, we are going to double that. And that is the mindset. So if we did well in the World Championships, I know we were going to do well for the rest of the summer. It's a given.
And TC, you know, you're so right. Each team form a link to the chain, because as it is now, we Jamaica holds all 100
Yeah.
tournament title on the female side in all
Across the
major
board.
championship. You can imagine, Sean. Think about it. Just thinking about it made me dizzy for a little tiny nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was having
Mark, hold a second, Mark. I have to interject.
Go ahead, sir.
And these titles are not being held by one person.
Exactly.
There are different persons who are winning these titles.
Gentlemen, I will give you a self clap. And continue, Mr. Michael. Continue, Mr. Elder Stillman, they drop you.
No, you know, I have high respect for him. But you know, if he said stop talk, I will stop talk because
all right, man, you can talk now.
voice of wisdom and voice of truth. And you know, I was just saying it that you know we were in Cali, Colombia, and a lot of questions has been asked. A lot of questions were asked about what is it about us, and persons have still yet they are puzzled, and it speaks to the fact that we have our primary school championship, prep school now, yeah, it's a major championship, and it goes all the way through to a senior level. So as TC rightly said, to have this championship title, and it is held by persons across the board for little Jamaica, it is enough for us to be proud of. And if only the persons who are making Jamaica look as if it's not a place to live and raise a family, if they can use the microscope or the ball of track and field, sports in particular, and see the impact and the influence we have across the world, then we will see a better nation.
And Michael and Mr. Trevor, no disrespect, I love my country. But this has been a burn issue inside of me for the past weeks. And this is what I'm going to charge you guys both. If it's possible, if you want to speak, if you want to voice it, this is my take on it now. And I mean, I'm diverting a little. Wow. You got to give me half an hour more time every time, please, gentlemen. But my thing is this. It's time there be a special allocation of the budget set aside for sports. I don't know how it's structured going to be, whether it's going to be 1% of the budget, the national budget I'm talking about. Because what I'm hearing from you guys and what I'm seeing and what's happening in social media, the trending side, that our athletes need that support. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you about a foundation no more or whatever the private sector. I'm not talking about other countries do it. The US does it. Russia do it to the athletes. We can go on and on and on. They invest in their athletes. And don't tell me so we don't have the money. Because when corruption and money waste, they always find the money. But it's time we got to put a percentage of our budget into sports so we can have more results. Because it's quite clear, as we mentioned here, that the real ambassadors are athletes, and they said, and the TC said a couple weeks ago, they are brand Jamaica. What do you guys say? Disagree? Agree? It's my take. Before we move on, Michael, Trevor.
It's
You
a
just
conversation that's gonna
you
be.
just spit.
We're
You
gonna
just
have to have that conversation, but uh, there are a lot more ingredients that we need to put in the pot.
Yeah. We know that. We know that.
So, but that conversation can be had.
Yeah, that's a useful conversation, and therefore, it is time. It is high time now that the different association that manage sports needs to pitch a collaborative proposal,
Mm-hmm.
because what we have the sports development foundation that allocate a set amount of monies to these association. But if you're going to have something direct for the athlete themselves, it is a great place to start, a great time to start this level of conversation, so we can have that in place to assist them.
Because the TC talk about infrastructure development. Mr. Michael Carr talk about nutrition and science for the athletes, or teach them how to rest, teach them how to spend the money. All those things we need to start. Then what they say we need to get the base right. And
Sean, not to really cut you, but in all of this too, you also need to allocate what I would consider to be funds for coaches education, because yes, we can have the talent, but if you don't have the coaches with the knowledge and the requisite skill to bring this talent from 11 to a 10-6 consistently, and on the female side and sub 10 seconds, we will always be like a bridesmaid and not the bride. You understand me? And therefore, when we are having a conversation about funds for athletes, we must also remember the services the athletes need: the massage therapist, the physiotherapist. All those persons must be in the conversation, because you're talking about the holistic approach. It's not just it's like the Bible speaks about the function of the hand that the head can do, and the function of the feet where the hands can do. But when everybody function as one, then you have the entire body, and that's what we need going forward.
So Trevor,
It's a complex thing. It's because you're now asking for state funds, taxes to be transferred to athletes. Um, it's not a conversation that you just get into and get out of just like that. I said it before, there are a lot of parts to this puzzle that we probably need to sit down and think about first.
yes, sir.
Because just think of this. Number of persons would have made millions just now at the World Championship, but none of that money comes back to the J3s, which did a lot.
Boy.
Did a lot which provided meats and whatever for the athletes. So it's not just it's a complex thing, and we really have to sit down and bring all our minds together to work it out, because it's not as easy as we would.
Yeah, we know that. It's not gonna be, but there must be some starting point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
We have that starting point, and you gentlemen are there. You have just bring it up, talk, cry it out. There must be some, because we cannot continue on this trend where we just say J3 or whatever do provide this, they get this from us. No, the meeting of the minds. Might take not we happen overnight, that's for sure. But the process must start somewhere. That's all I'm saying. That's fair enough. That's
Fair enough.
yeah. All right, so yeah, I had to get that off my. I've been in my burning issue for weeks now. When I started this, but gentlemen, the U20 championship. Let's just leave to give Mr. Michael the floor. Come on, we came second in the medal standing. Tell us.
Second in terms of the quality, but overall most medal by a country. Second in terms of the quality. The US won because they had a gold more than us. They got 15 medals in total. We got 16 in total. And this is remarkable by these youngsters. And it didn't just started in Cali. We had 3 weekends of training camp. Where the athletes and the coaches. Because what I do realize is that when you have the camps, the coaches that are assigned by the national federation get a chance to really get to know these athletes before you go on the trips with them, because that is very critical, right? And that 3 weeks start to allow us to bond with the athletes. The coaches were given the responsibility. I was charged with the male sprint along with the 4x1, and Michael Dyke was charged with the female sprints 4x1. Riley was a technical leader. You have Neil Harris in charge of the 4x4,
right,
and the half miler, and we have Corey Bennett in charge of the sprint hurdles on the female side and the 4 hurdles. And we have Michael Vasso, who was charged with the throws. And Jeremy DeLissa should have been with us. But unfortunately, he didn't make a trip. So Riley was given the task to do the jumps.
Right.
But all of us as coaches, each day we would have our coaches meeting, and we would talk about what happened the day before. And people would go across discipline. Like if on the day my sprinters weren't competing, I would give an eye over to the jumpers or the hurdlers. So it was a colossal effort from all the coaches, and the athletes responding brilliantly.
So teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep. And what you have to say about look how many championship records we were able to take down at this championship. World lead. What about the 17-year-old who jumped 17.27 meters, triple jumper? That distance would have placed him in the top 5 at the recently held World Championship.
Yes, sir.
You understand me?
Yes, sir.
And you speak about Kobe Lawrence, who won Jamaica first silver medal at that level, at the junior level, for shot put. But there were a lot of what you call watershed moments for Jamaica at this under 20 championship. And you have to give the association kudos for planning these camps to ensure that these athletes were well taken care of. But just to go back a little bit, they're individual coaches, because I can speak for the coaches that I work with. They were willing enough to sort of give me an idea as to where their athletes would be, and that's why I was able to assist them in the way that I had done. So there were effort, team effort in everything that was done on and off the track, and that's why the results. Because we had earmarked 15 medals when we were leaving Kingston. 15 medals.
50 May earmark. Wow.
That's what the management team, the 14 personnel and the management team. We said 15, and we had got 16, and we would have had a medal in the 400 meter for men had not been for that fast start.
Wow.
Because he went in with the fastest time and was in good athletic shape to do well, and he fast started, not knowing what happened. He still don't even know himself, and
That's sensor thing, man. Sensor thing.
have to help him now to say, you will have a story to tell at the end of your career. Use it as that moment that you can say you make an error, but it makes you a better person, not bitter.
Right. Use it as a catalyst to push your
and
career. But before I bring in,
therefore, no. Hello?
go ahead. I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
I was saying no commendation, no accolade, nothing is too short of giving to these junior athletes, because it augurs well for the future.
For the future. Mr. Campbell, what you want to add your words to it, sir?
Great job by Mac and the rest of the management team, Gillette Parks and company. The youngsters really went out and did a fantastic job. When you compete with the United States as big a team as they normally travel with, and you come back with one medal more than they mind, the only fact that they ended up on ahead of you in the medal is because they had one more gold medal. When you look at the totality of all of that, you knew that we went out and did a great job. Kudos to everybody again, coaches, management, everybody, athletes in particular, because that performance was a great performance, and we shouldn't take it lightly. And what we need to do now is to look at these youngsters and see what kind of plan we could put in place so that we ensure that they make that step up to the next level.
And I will add my 2 cents to this thing. And I must say, you're the team and J3 coaching staff. What made this really happen? And you need to hit on the point, Michael. Is that collaboration with all the coaches. That collaboration and plus the J3 supported you and gave you guys 3 weeks to familiarize yourself, to know the athletes. It shows me that this formula that the J3 Institute with the youth, if they can get it done with the adults, that come complicated because different coaches have their athletes, but if the athletes, coaches at the elite level can understand that if there can be collaboration, organized structured camp where everybody's in and everybody work together, then we can be number one in maybe world champion in terms of medal and everything. Because what this says about the team, Michael, and your team, and I'm happy that you came on here and give us what will transpire, is that it proves one thing: unity is strength. Unity is strength. And I'm so proud of Michael and your team and the J3 who put this camp together.
And you know what is also shown is that the the J Trays had faith in
Mhm.
selecting these set of coaches
Yes, sir.
who could,
Yes, sir.
who could, there was no ego.
Yeah.
There was no ego.
Ego.
And I live by a saying that says, ego is a 3-letter word that destroys a 12-letter word, relationship. Right? And what we had this great synergy going. Miss Sparks was like the energizer bunny. Mr. Keith Wellington and Mario, they were her assistants. And the coaches just gel. I give you a little synopsis.
Mhm.
The Americans
Mhm.
had Laurie Williams, former junior
Mhm.
and Olympian.
Right.
They had Dashawn Jackson.
Right.
They had Mike Marsh.
Right.
They had Spearman. They have Carmelita Jetta. And the
Mhm.
coaching staff TC.
Great athletes in their time.
So they went because they had a great championship in Eugene, and they thought more or less that they are coming to Cali, Colombia to do the same thing, to massacre the commission and go home laughing. But
Yes.
I watched their faces on the last session, and they were on pins and needles, and I just laughed and said, a little nation with little or no resources in terms of we are what you would call
A dot.
yes, and we are showing up
Yes.
in the big dance,
Yes.
playing our tune
Yes.
and allowing these big nations to tremble in their boots.
And Mr. Trevor, I know you want something. Say something, man.
No, I want to draw our attention to something that is very, very important.
Mhm.
In the placing table, right?
Yes,
We were
sir.
second there. United States won that with 166, and we were 128. But the importance of the placing table
Mhm.
is not well known.
Mhm.
For every athlete that you send to the final,
Yes,
it
sir.
allows another athlete in the following meet to
For the year,
travel.
yeah,
Is that clear?
yes, you're correct.
Repeat
So
again one
remember
more
what
time.
I'm saying
No,
is
I think I missed up. It's something new. Repeat
every
it.
athlete
Mhm.
that we send to the final of an event
Yes, sir.
allows another athlete to go to the follow-up world under 20 world championships for free.
The World
Wow.
Athletics pay for that. World Athletics paid
Pay
for
for
that.
that.
So
Wow.
each finalist
Right.
you put forward,
Mhm.
so 2024 in Lima, Peru,
Mhm.
all the finalists that we would have put the finals,
Mhm.
we would have created a ticket
Mhm.
or to pay their way
Passage.
the passage right to Lima, Peru. So people need to understand that it's a conveyor belt. I do
Mhm.
my
So
job.
Mark,
So
it
the
is not
person
just the
coming
6
through.
gold medals that are important.
Yeah.
It is the fact that we are sending people to the
Final.
finals. That is
Mhm.
very, very important, because by doing so, you're allowing the next team to have
To fill that
persons
quota.
travel
Fill that quota.
quota with no cost to the J trade.
Day trades.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying,
Yeah.
let me bring it to the viewers. I can maybe something again. You're saying we maybe have sent 30 individuals to finals only.
Yeah.
But in the next championship,
Yeah.
we can add like 30 based on the 30 finals that we had in this final. Is that correct?
We can now be taking 30 teammates.
No, I'm saying if we are 30 person in finals,
Yeah.
we can, you say the next champion, we can bring an addition of one additional person.
Once they have the qualifying standard.
Qualifying
Right.
standard. So that means that we could maybe have 60 persons going if they have the qualifying standard.
Yes.
That's what
The
you're
US had a team of 117.
Oh.
117 delegation in athletes. We had 40, I think it's 45
Mhm.
members, and that speaks to the volume that we had persons who would have made final last year in Nairobi that
Mhm.
gave a set number this
Mhm.
year to go to Cali.
Right.
So all the persons would have made the finals. So we had two in the women's sprint, two in the hurdles, two in the 200,
Mhm.
one in the 400, one in the men 100, one in the men 200,
Mhm.
two in the 400 meter for men,
Mhm.
one in the high jump, one in the
Mhm.
triple jump, one in the this shot put, two in discus. So add all of that, and that give you a quota that the World Athletics will pay for to enter the next World Championship.
Wow.
As long
Oh,
as those kids meet the
Make the
standard.
qualifying
but
standard.
we'll qualifying standard, and Jamaicans, we love make our qualifying standards already. And this does all the shows that there's a lot of quality in our youths. And let's just talk about the highlights of this Youth Winning Championship. Who were the best performers you think? Although everybody performed, but there must be some exceptional performers, like the twin in 100
You know,
meters. Miss
you know,
Clayton, right?
I was there,
Mm-hmm.
and if you ask me, the the highlight for me at the
Mm-hmm.
championship
Mm-hmm.
comes from, and not because I was given the task to supervise this young man,
Mm-hmm.
but that 10:02 by Bowaje and Kumi
Mm.
still was outstanding for me. That on the 17.2 7 by Hibbert.
Mm-hmm.
Those two performances stood out for me.
Mr. Michael, question for you. Can you talk about 10.02? And I brought this question up in last time we were in the car here. And Trevor, can we see in the future our high school kids running sub 10 seconds consistently?
You mean while they're in high school?
Yeah, I mean,
I
18,
would be
19.
I would be pushing the envelope, because what you don't want as a coach
Mm-hmm.
is to allow them to have their ceiling
Mm-hmm.
too early in high school, and when they move into the senior rank, there's
Mm-hmm.
not much scope for improvement because they would have worked and trained so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak for Bowaji. Bowaji, his eating habits is not the best for a sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the strongest of a sprinter. What he has as his real arsenal is that first 40, 50 meters. He's like a bullet from a gun,
Mm-hmm.
right? You keep that and fix the other ingredients that he needs to be a world class. He can go very, 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 very far.
Because when I asked a question, that kid that beat him and was showing off against him, showmanship against him, he run 9 point what? 9 what? He went point
9.91.
yeah.
9.9. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I understand that his training is at the elite level. He doesn't have a high school championship. He doesn't have he doesn't train with juniors. He's
Mm-hmm.
actually in the senior rank, and people are wondering if he was going to go professional. But understand that
Right.
he'll be attending University of Oregon
Mm-hmm.
in September.
Right.
So his preparation, I remember he ran 9 points at the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to a senior championship, ran 9.9, and then came back down to the juniors. He was expected to have his own way. But I am so happy that we're able to pull a medal from that 100 meter, which is the first we have gotten in 10 years at
Mm.
the junior among the boys. The
Yeah.
last time we won a medal was a bronze by Odin Skeen
Right.
in Barcelona.
Right.
You understand me?
Right.
And not just a silver, but he also take along with it national junior record
Right.
from 10:11, which he equal in the semis, and then put it down to 10:02 in the final.
Right. So, Mr. Trevor, what you have to say? What is your contribution to this discussion here?
Um, you would have to respect 10.02 because it would have placed him in the final, in the top five at our national senior championships
Mm-hmm.
that time. So it's an absolutely fantastic time, and not only is the time itself great, but the fact that we can see a second generation or a next generation coming to the fore. You know, we've been complaining that we don't have men coming through. Well,
Right.
here we have two: one in the triple jump, one in
Sprint. Or the,
the sprint. So it is good for the future.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a good say. It's good to stop the naysayers. It's good to get people off of the kids' backs, because we can't make talent. God makes talent. We can only improve talent. And back to the question that you asked of whether or not we'll see sub 10s. I don't want us going out trying to make sub 10 sprinters in high school. If a talent comes about that has that in it, fine. But I don't want, Matt said it, I wouldn't want the coaches to particularly going out to train somebody to run sub 10s because it's not really necessary then. We want to keep you running sub 10 after 20 years old for the next 10 years. So
Right.
we don't want to put that pressure on the body
Right.
because we want that body to last. So if a talent comes that is sub 10, fine. But we shouldn't be trying to push the envelope.
Well, I what I mean, as I say, but Michael's pushing. I know you go pushing because whatever realize is that with technology, with training methods evolving, and the science that is being applied now, I'm seeing that the whole is more like running against the clock that the kids are training
But
for.
Sean, TC said it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
If a talent come along
Mm-hmm.
and can get to that place,
Right.
but what I don't want us to have to have a Lada body and put a Ferrari engine in there,
Right.
right? Because having the body of a Lada or a Toyota, you put a Ferrari engine in there. While in high school, yes, you'll be flying. And when you get to the point now, when we want you to be flying, you'll be crawling, right? If you look at it, Bawaji was 10.22 going to a championship. This is August.
Right.
He ran 10:02.
Right.
This is the time you want him to run in fast, not in March or April,
Mm-hmm.
because they're talking about double major peak and
Right.
sometimes triple major peak. And as coaches, we must understand the process of periodization,
Right.
right? Because when you one of our job as a coach is to ensure the athlete peak for the major competition, because we coach backwards forward. You coach from the major championship back to the day you want to start the preparation. So you get the number of days and you structure it in a way. So coaching is a science. It's not something just get up to a morning and have a dream. Say the boy must run 10 300 and you just go give him 10 300. It's
Right.
not like that. It is
Right.
very systematic and very scientific.
Right. And then one thing I want to go back to, and I agree 100% that the something must come naturally, not before.
Yeah, should not be forced.
You talk about the guy who he said nutrition is not eating properly. And Mr. Trevor alluded a couple of weeks, Michael really that the athletes are not properly trained how to eat and proper dieting and all that, so they can get the maximum level of performance out of them consistently when they're here. What do you think can be done to change that mindset? Is it that they need like a mentor? Do they need something like a structure where they can go to how to prepare their body on what they must eat, what they should not eat? Because guess what? Most of these athletes parents maybe can't even afford what they should buy. What is your take on it, Michael and Trevor?
Well, as it relates to to the nutrition. Many of our high schoolers, in a sense, and I'm speaking from a situation like a Green Island High School.
Right.
Many of these youngsters, what they are exposed to is is rice and peas and fried chicken. For instance, at school, chicken and fries, fried chicken and fries. If you prepare stew chicken at the canteen a particular day, you might have to end up giving it away or throw it out. They're not buying the stew chicken, but the fried chicken would go in a flash. Now, culturally, our kids don't like fruits and vegetables. We have to change that narrative when it comes to them. They need to be constantly being exposed. Whether they're going to be using social media or when the coach have a talk with the group, in just have a chance to put in the importance of having your watermelon and your banana and those things. And what I normally do is to ask the teachers who teach food and nutrition. If an athlete is in that class, please emphasize the importance of even to drink your water. Proper hydration, 'cause that is key. And once they're properly hydrated, then the body itself will function better. Because without the water in the system, you expose them that their blood will become viscous or become thick, and they can't function. Right? Sometimes the athletes come to you and look in their eyes. You can see that they have not had any water. Nutrition wise, they have not gone to the place. But in terms of their eating habits, it is the yam, it is the rice, the the fried chicken, the fast food. Because even when we're in Cali and the food after day two are the same food, our kids start to complain. We had to pull them together and then individually and said, guess what? Anything you like, eat it a lot. So if you go to the dining room and you like the papaya, or you like the rice with the vegetable, or you like the baked chicken, although it look white, ask a ketchup and mix it up. Whatever you see here, but don't tell us that you can't find nothing to eat. And that's what we have done, and I guess that's why the performance is for what it is. At the same time, too, the management went on the road, find a supermarket that they could get little snacks that could augment
Right.
lack of
Right.
what the canteen was providing. So it speaks to managing the athletes and find alternative to assist them with their nutrition.
So Trevor, what you want to add to this?
Yeah, I think we need to step back a little bit in terms of looking at the dieting. We need to realize that kids might have one meal at home at school, but they might have two meals at home. And what are they eating at home? That's very important. You know, I've been on trips where you can't even get the children to eat a ripe banana. I mean, it's that bad. And the reason why is because they're not accustomed to be eating ripe
Right.
bananas from home. Can it be afforded, at home? Can when mommy or daddy go to the grocery, can they buy ripe banana and apples to bring home? Will the money allow them to do that? So, we live in a complex society. Other thing, ground provision. We don't eat ground provision because it's not. I don't know what it is. Why we don't eat like yam and banana and stuff like that?
Because of the tangy
And-
taste, tangy, not that you don't give it that you don't in your mouth you don't feel that sweetness or that's it gives that a flat taste. That's what it is.
Okay, so then we need to go home and to teach persons at home that eating good don't have to be expensive. It's what you choose to eat. That's the important thing. And dieting is something that we really need to pay attention to.
Well, Mr. Michael mentioned something about the school where the canteen provide these fries and fried chicken.
Mhm.
And I'm just giving an example here in New York City where the schools, the public school, the mayor instructed that the kids must be fed with proper nutrition meals. And I'm not sure if it's allowable in Jamaica or if the canteens operate in a vacuum by themselves, operated independently. But if the school canteens can start with providing those nutrition items for the kids in general for the general population, then maybe there can be a culture shift in how they treat their nutrition. Because when you go at home, mommy and daddy always want to spoil the kids. Then you know what they might cry, and the mommy don't want it. But if the school, which is a controlled environment, can implement the proper nutrition, then maybe they can tame some of that beast of improper nutrition. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
Sean,
yeah, school has its place. School has its place, but I think we have to go before school.
home.
We have to go in the homes and try to get dieting understood in the home also.
Okay, fair enough.
And there is a drive from the
Mm-hmm.
Ministry of Education
Mm-hmm.
to have like no sugar drink in school in Jamaica,
Right. Mm-hmm.
right? That has been a campaign that has been going on for the past 2 years. I think COVID could have put a little stall on that.
Right.
And there's another drive to ramp up a
Mm-hmm.
campaign, no
Right.
sugar drink in school, and they're going to be start to give the canteen the prescribed meal
Right.
per day as to what you can serve to these students. But
No.
as TC rightly said, you have this at school that give them one meal, but when they go home, they have two meals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be counterproductive
Mm-hmm.
to have them get this meal at school and then they go home to something different. So we have to really what you call nip it in the bud, which is the school to start to allow to give them this platform that everybody's on the same page. Your
Mm-hmm.
child is an athlete who will need nutrition
Mm-hmm.
along with good training and
Mm-hmm.
along with management of time in terms of rest to
Rest.
be at the elite level. You have to communicate that
Mm-hmm.
to everybody involved. It can't just be between the coach and the coach have it in his head. You have to communicate it to all the person who will involve in that child's growth and development.
Wow, that's a big now discussion that needs to take place, and that has to be done because it's quite evident that we have natural athletes and we have good talent who can excel to the level from once they are proper structured in nutrition and diet and training methods and all that. But gentlemen, quickly, Michael, other best performance, and then Mr. Trevor,
I didn't hear that.
the other best performance for the U20 championship.
Well, there were so many what you call second best. The triple jumper,
Mm-hmm.
the 10.95 by Tina Clayton.
Right,
Talking about a Brianna Williams who ran 22,
right.
65 after being given a medical exemption. The
Mm,
U20 games would have been her first run
mm-hmm.
since Carter.
Right. Wow.
So there were some level of doubt going in.
Mm-hmm.
And this young lady and his coach, his personal
Right.
coach was also a member of the coaching staff, which also helps with managing the round and keep the fear down. So that was it. Also, the 4x1 female team
Mm-hmm.
who ran the world record
Yes,
again.
sir. Yes,
Again,
sir.
that was an highlight all by itself. So so if you're gonna look at the performances, every single one you're talking about a brand level
Mm-hmm.
would have gotten a medical exemption.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the championship, he now is the third fastest junior
Mm-hmm.
over 200 meters behind Usain Bolt and Christopher Taylor.
Yes, sir.
So they were so there are so many little history that came from this under 20 championship. That
I,
it
you know, I'm going to correct you one
it will
second
take.
before. I'm going to correct you. That little history, big history.
Okay, sir. All right. There were huge, gigantic history
Yes, sir.
from this U20 championship, where you look at every time these athletes. I remember a coach from um which country? I don't remember which country, but he said to me that gold vest seems to give you guys extra wings. And and he was saying, "Can I borrow it to give my athletes to put under his vest?" And I was like, "It will not even help you a bit because
Yeah, he was being sarcastic. Yeah.
you know. But I'm just saying the magnitude
Mhm.
of the performance and how the world revere the performances of Jamaican athletes.
Yes,
And people are even saying, boy, if this is a junior team and you had a world championship in Eugene,
Mhm.
that you were great in the sprints, what's gonna happen to the next country in the next couple of years? But they are watching. They are watching. And what I also noticed to Casey is that the Japanese, I saw the discus men was going on, and they had nobody in discus throw, but there were five of the team officials over a discus with their laptops and their pen and papers, watching and making notes.
Wow. And they want to make sure they can.
They want to go back to their training session and create based on what they would have seen, and they would have had their tweak whatever it is to make
Mhm.
them be very competitive. That's what I've been doing all this time.
Yeah, Mr. Trevor, your words and I know Mr. Michael said a lot. What is your take?
Well, not too much I can add after that. I think he had run the gamut and rightfully so. The sprint relay women, yeah,
Yeah.
that was world record. They have to put that on top. The triple jump men national junior record, that
Yeah.
would have to be right up there also. Those for me were the two events that really lighted my fire.
Mhm.
The team though, the team I must emphasize the team had a great outing,
Right.
and the 16 medals that we won, we
Right.
probably would not have done so well had not the team been so tightly grilled together.
Right. 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 And that's totally correct. I mean, the whole thing was so fabulous. Awesome performance. Gentlemen, I know I've kept you so long. I just want to ask you your final words, and I give the honor to Mr. Michael. Your final words on the U20 and the future.
Um, Final word would have been remarkable for what happened in Cali, Colombia, and for the future, great hope and expectation.
Mr. Campbell.
Every time the juniors go out and perform like they did, it holds well for the future. This performance just now concluded holds very well for the future. And what we need to do now is to find ways and means of ensuring that these juniors make it to the next level and make it to the next level without much problems. I think we are still in a good futuristic mode.
And my last question to you was from 1 to 10, 10 is the highest. What's the grade they give, Mr. Trevor?
To the juniors,
Yes, sir.
if you go to a meet and you get more medals than America, you must be doing something good. Nine plus probably.
Michael, as the coach for the
Nine
junior.
point 9.5 and still looking for a mark somewhere.
Well, guess what? I'm going to give them a 10.
Okay. Well, you
You
are
know
the
what?
external assessor. Sean,
Yes,
we
sir.
are internal assessor. You are external, so your grade will hold.
Listen, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give you a 10. For once, we get more medals than from the big mighty USA. Two, the collaboration of the coaches and the management. Three, the camp that you guys kept. Four, the performances on the day of each event where the performances was. And we won not in style, but we create new records and huge records. And last thing, our population. We are just a dot in this world. But our people are a little bit and very talawa. And my final say is that as Jamaicans, we are competitive. So that's why I give them a 10. And they always go out and make us proud. Gentlemen, disagree or agree?
Agree.
Can't disagree.
Gentlemen, I say thank you so much, Mr. Michael McIntosh, Mr. Trevor Campbell, for coming on. You know, to be honest, you both have shared a lot of knowledge. And for me personally, I've learned a lot from you both tonight again. And I read this is my take. It's your choice. That I hope that you guys will start some constructive conversation with how improving the budget, approving a budget, putting all the technical, putting all the brains, put all the super brains together to come to a working solution to give our athletes from juniors to elite level that support. I'm not talking about a foundation, but we need to have that now conversation started. I don't know how it's going to start, but we have to whisper, and as my brother, one of my duets said that when they're in those rooms with opportunity to speak about how to help kids, keep speaking. Please don't stop because these kids, what they did was unbelievable performance. From my been doing following track and field from me a little boy, it's the first I'm seeing. Maybe I can stand corrected, but this is the first time at a youth level we get more medals than the USA. We compete and we break records. Hey, come on, let's go. Let us go optimistic for the future. Let us do more. That's all I'm saying. Try to do more. It might take some time, but start putting plans and programs and whatever it takes. Mr. Michael McIntosh,
Yes,
coach,
sir. Yes, sir.
continue doing what you're doing with the young people. Keep your passion up, sir. Keep your passion because the young kids need you more than how you need them. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Because with your passion and your desire and your worth ethics, which is unbelievable because you have so much function, assistant principal, pastor, family, coach. Hey, I give you your kudos, sir. You do. But continue doing it with the passion you say. Because trust me, it's not often you meet coaches with that passion and desire, like I said, because guess what? A lot of coaches do it for this. Yeah. I'm a football coach. I do volunteer work a lot. I don't make a lot of money from it, but to my passion, I continue in sports. And Mr. Trevor, please stay the man you are in terms of your analysis, your thinking, your clear thoughts and projection, what you want to say. Because with your voice and Mr. McIntosh and Mr. Michael Carr and others who want to be a part of the process can change things. It might not happen overnight. No overnight. But if you keep speaking, please don't stop. Because our athletes worth more than just participating. And I mean I might sound very passionate about it, but I'm emotional. That's all I am. Because I love my country. And when I'm in this country here and I see my athlete Jamaican doing well, I'm ecstatic and I'm very proud to say I'm a Jamaican. And that will never change. Understand me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So thank you once again. Thank you for taking the time out. And I hope that maybe one day again we can have a proper discussion. And I hope that whatever which school you coach, which school you coach, Mr. Michael?
Green Island High.
Oh, Green Island. Okay. I know the program there. Do you get support?
Always need support.
Okay.
Always.
Just show me a WhatsApp and I see if I can get some support with whatever it is, some small, whatever you need. Because we are here, maybe we can find some way to help you in high school because once again you have a program and kids always want help.
All right, sir.
So I can get some support too?
Yes, sir. Anytime. Whatever you listen.
And guess what? If I know TC, when you give me the support, it's going right back to the kids.
I know.
If knowing him, when you give him, it goes right back, and he will add from his little tips.
Yes.
To it.
Yes. Listen,
knowing him.
I have my own school. I'm a firm at Jamaica College, but we give support. But sometimes, we have our bodies gives back. But if I can help someone else, I would do it. And I just want you guys to understand that I'm encouraged by what you guys say. Because what says it? You guys have knowledge, and you can empower other people around you too. So keep doing the good job you are. And thank you once again, Mr. Trevor Campbell and Mr. Michael McIntosh. I will talk to Michael Carnock. I want them to say, he couldn't get in, so I'm going to talk to him later.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, bud.
Pleasure. One love. Peace out.
TC.
Yeah, man.
Take care, my brother.
Mark.
Take care of the Mr. Campbell.
Respect.
Yes, my brothers and sisters of faith. This was a long discussion. I know it's been a long night, but thank you for staying with me for this. This is further I'm going so long. But it was such an interesting argument with Mr. Michael McIntosh, coach of Jamaica U20 champion sprinters. He was responsible for the sprint team and all that, and the relays, boys side. And Trevor Campbell, he was the one who was there with David, was also, he was, administrator and all that too. But, we have said a lot, and we really appreciate them taking the time to come in and join this program. So once again, thank you, my faithful family, and see you next week, Wednesday, for another episode of My Perspective. You have a wonderful night, and stay blessed. Make sure you got the water because it's very warm. All right? And one love. Peace out. Good night.